Mastery of self and self-excellence. This is the root definition of Gung Fu, or Kung Fu as it is better known and pronounced. And in this definition, son, self-discipline comes to mind, and the mastery and control of one's emotions. As a man, one must have control of their emotions, because otherwise the emotions run rampant and wild, and they can potentially ruin a life. They can bring destruction and violence when it's not necessary. Key word being when it is not necessary, because sometimes it is, my son. But when it's not, it's important for one to be rooted and grounded and not be swayed so easily. Imagine, if you would, the ocean and the sea, the gravitational pull from the moon to the earth, the winds, not to mention the human impact on the environment, causes the sea to be reckless, to be out of control. But when everything is in perfect harmony, you can imagine if a sea and ocean would be calm, still. It's always good, son, to take moments in time to enter that calm and stillness, to meditate on oneself as always. Do not let your emotions get the best of you in any situation. Emotions can be a great and powerful thing, but they can also be dangerous. Powerful and good is the emotion of love, of warmth, of caring, of empathy. The emotions of being joyful and happy. But dangerous can be the emotion of fright or fear, nervousness, anxiety. These things can not only damage you mentally, but also physically. They can cripple you and stop you from moving forward in your goals and aspirations and your dreams. It's extremely important, my son, to always be aware of this, because you're always going to have a choice. A lot of people in this world have chosen not to have self-control or discipline, not to master themselves, and they get overrun by their feelings and their emotions. They make bad decisions, not only for their lives, but also for themselves. They become these individuals that have no control whatsoever over themselves and lead lives that are just empty. Sure, they are able to accomplish the superficial, but deep down inside, what do they have past that? And it's all because of the fact that they've chosen not to have discipline and self-control. A man must always have these things, my son. Not only for yourself, but for others. For yourself, it helps you understand your mental capacity and understanding of all things around you and in you. You have identity. You're grounded. Also in others, it allows you to give some room for what is empathy, for what is understanding of situations that are not directly yours or involved. It's also helpful, son, because there's so many people in this world that you're going to meet, good and bad, but they all have different characters, different attitudes. And if you don't have the root of that self-discipline and emotion, it can be very damaging. You can hurt others, and that's not good. God put you on this earth to be a light, a help to your fellow man whenever possible. So never allow your emotions to get the best of you, to control you. There are many. You will find them, you will see them, you will experience them. But always remember, my son, it is always a choice, and you always have control. It's best to be that way, because there are things that you cannot control. those things can also sometimes wear you down. But if you put your faith and trust in God and know that He gave you the capacity to be in control of self, to master yourself, then, my son, you will always be able to face any challenge that comes your way and conquer it. Always seize the moment and the opportunities that are given before you and take action. Trust in God that you are taking the steps and following the path that's set before you. Never fear, never worry. Be anxious for nothing, as the Word of God says. Being scared, it happens. But when you face the fear, son, it begins to disappear. And you learn from this experience. So that next challenge that comes, you are better equipped. You are in control. You are a light and a guide for those around you that may not have such an experience. The role of leadership, my son, is action. It's not a position. So it's extremely important. Move forward in all things and always remember, you are my son. You are loved. You are not alone. And I will always be with you, even if you cannot see me.